What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Real Squad Pod. I'm your host, Bryce.
And it's your boy Al here, co-hosting today.
And today we have some world news. You know what I'm saying? We want to get into it. We want to take a step away from the movie reviews for a second so we can give you our thoughts on what's going on in this crazy world. And first things up, we got the Jonathan Majors situation, which I've been kind of avoiding. I mean, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably know that he is definitely my favorite actor. And I've been trying to stay away from the topic until more information was revealed about what's going on, because, you know, you never know what's going on in these days and times with all these allegations. But I think we're at that point where it's about to take a turn for the better, I hope, from what information that just came out recently. He had just had a court date. He put up with Megan Good. That can never be that bad. You know what I'm saying? That gotta be a good sign in itself.
Facts.
But yeah, man, the new information they just released, finally some actual footage of his ex-girlfriend hanging out in the club chilling after the altercation, where supposedly she's supposed to be all injured and hand broken and all this type of stuff. So
yeah. So if you guys haven't noticed, rumors or allegations, we'll say, were circulating that Jonathan Major was a quote-unquote abuser.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that word can be thrown out very loosely these days.
For sure.
But physical abuser.
Mm-hmm.
And his ex-girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend, apparently got hold of some police. There's a whole story behind it that we're going to get into, how the police actually got to his apartment. Man. And accused him of physical abuse, which is always a serious thing. Like if it is abuse and physical abuse, then obviously he should go to jail
For sure.
But let's not sit here and act like sometimes, you know, they press that button and it's not really what it seems.
Exactly. So we always got to address the facts, and the facts is what's going to keep people from out of jail when everything is served up the right way.
Exactly.
So, yeah, he's already lost plenty of endorsements, and one of the big ones was a commercial or a little advertisement he had going on with the Army. Apparently, he lost the role to playing Dennis Rodman in the Dennis Rodman movie or whatever, which would have been probably cool. And yeah, man, and his actual career has been on hold as far as what's going on with him playing Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel movies or the MCU right now. Mm-hmm. Even though I think they finished Loki season 2, which he's most likely in, and I know for the advertising for Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania, they haven't been showing him as much in the advertisement, or I guess like every now and then when they do drop these movies, they do a making of, and they did not do it for Ant-Man because of what's going on.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, some very serious allegations. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I can see why people are being so cautious upon keeping him as the forefront. Sort of similar kind of what they did to Ezra Miller with The Flash.
Oh, well, shit, man. Ezra Miller, I feel like they got off a lot more easier than what he is. Like they are scrubbing him right now. You know what I'm saying? It's looking, like I said, he's actually dealing with, I know Ezra probably had to go, but I don't think it was at the level of like with the court system and everything that he's going through. It wasn't as serious as what Jonathan Majors is going through. It doesn't seem that way. Like I said, his movie is coming out, and people aren't talking about it, what he did, as much as they talking about what Jonathan Majors did. It's like they throwing him under the train.
They definitely throwing my man Jonathan Majors under the bus. Also, with Jonathan Majors, also I've just heard this today. He chose to take his at the actual case to trial so that he can kind of clear the air and make sure that everybody understands, gets all the evidence. Like we've seen videos that we probably would have never seen had he just had the police just drop the case. Had he just dropped the case, we're seeing because even if the evidence is overwhelming, people will still be like, well, that doesn't mean he's not an abuser or whatever, and like people will come up with any excuse, even though all the evidence is in your face, to still call this man an abuser. And I even heard somebody say that they rather believe a liar than an abuser. Like if the girl's lying, then they rather believe her up front than if Jonathan Majors is lying. Which it makes sense on the surface level, but if you get deeper into it, like this man, like you are ruining his career and his life and his name. Like to be called an abuser, that's like almost being called like a rapist or something. Like you're ruining this man's whole image. And then not only that, what if this sends him into like a deep depression that everybody in the world is thinking that this man is an abuser, and he ends up like hurting himself, like like knock on wood, God forbid that he doesn't, but you don't know what this type of things can do to people. So before you go out and just have all the evidence out there, don't just start jumping to conclusions just because of personal things that happen in your life. We've all been abused in some way. Not saying that my abuse is worse than anybody else's, but we've all been abused. Like, and I'm not going to jump to conclusions and totally throw this man under the bus off of what somebody says, and then it turned out that is not what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, facts. Like I said, first of all, he's my favorite actor, so I've pretty much been on his side the whole time, trying to, like I said, let the real facts come out. No pun intended. And I am a strong believer of getting all the evidence out there before you make any decisions. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty in my book. So with that being said, like I said, they just had a court date, and he brought a bunch of evidence with him that is really supporting his side of things. It's video footage from police cameras with them talking to his girlfriend, the alleged victim, of her not knowing where her injuries came from at the time. And like I said, they have footage of her out clubbing and partying right after the altercation. And you have witnesses on witnesses. The cab driver that was driving around is ready to take the stand on behalf of Jonathan Majors, saying that it definitely didn't go down the way that she's saying it went down. She was more so the abuser, and he was trying to walk away from it, to the point where he's outside the car taking pictures with fans. That's pretty crazy to behold, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, with all that evidence stacking up, I feel like he might have been playing his cards right. Like he's letting everybody, all the tabloids say what they want to say, which is like another reason why I didn't want to drop nothing immediately, because I like I said, I want to just wait. And like after this last court date, it seems for sure that he's doing things the right way. And even with the footage, I'll try to bring up the footage of like her hanging out after, the altercation, and him sending a breakup text, and then he later finds out that she's locked herself inside his closet and is passed out, and he has the maintenance guy who can back him up as well. So
apparently after the altercation in the I guess it was like an Uber Black, it was like some type of ride for rich people. Like it's a rich people
call it rich people Uber.
Yeah, rich people Uber. So after the altercation, they split up. He goes to a friend's house. She goes to a nightclub. They have video footage of her in the nightclub shaking people's hand. And the whole thing was her finger was supposed to be broke
on her right hand.
On her right hand,
clearly
and
see
she's
her
like
using,
just not like if your finger broke. People talking about adrenaline and all that. I've had broke like that shit run. It don't last all night. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to feel that. If your finger is broken. She supposedly had a laceration on her ear or whatever. So she went back to the apartment. Once Jonathan Major got back to the apartment, the door is locked. So he had to go get the maintenance man to open the door, because the maintenance man has all the keys. So once him and the maintenance man entered the apartment, they found her in the closet asleep. And that's when Jonathan Majors actually is the one that called the police. And the police came, and they got video footage of the police talking to her. She doesn't even know how her finger got hurt.
But they're coercing her to say that he did it,
her.
and basically pin it all on him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
then he ends up getting arrested, even though he just got to the apartment,
and he made the phone call in the first place. And like I said, it's definitely probably been situations where it's been that, somebody might have called the police that has been an abuser, but
definitely
when you got witnesses and the evidence that he has, you would think it would be they wouldn't go as hard on him. But like I said,
yeah, they actually have. I think I don't know, but I've heard that they actually have like audio of the police like basically speculating how a black man could get such a high end apartment.
Yeah, so that's sad. Yeah,
it's just a sad situation. He was, it's just sad, like he said.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you still got to go through stuff like that. This is all alleged right now until they actually drop the audio. If they ever let us hear the audio, so far they only let us see the footage of her clubbing. So I'm pretty sure they might even have footage of the taxi situation. So it's gonna come out. Surely, for sure, and like I said,
they better let us see this trial.
If anything, we're gonna see it. It's probably gonna be a spectacle, but just the fact that he has to go through all this, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever the outcome. Hopefully, he's innocent. He's found innocent, and hopefully, nobody was abused. You know what I'm saying? When this is a situation like this, you don't want nobody to be getting hurt or whatever.
Facts.
But it's still going to play a part in his career as far as it being damper just a little bit. Like he already definitely for sure lost money already.
Facts,
and the fact that they already consider, maybe Marvel is considering replacing him depending on how this goes. Like I appreciate Marvel for not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? They pulling the real squad by stepping back and waiting until all the facts drop. But they haven't came out and said they support or don't support. You know what I'm saying? They haven't said anything. It's all alleged rumors right now, so nobody knows what for sure. So until we find out more information, it's definitely looking like it's good for my man. If he keeps going the route he's going and they have the evidence that they say they have, is looking like he's pretty innocent.
Yeah. And then what makes me even more tight about it is like, as soon as the information come out, you start hearing all these other allegations for people. Oh, my friend says that he's also like, we don't need
these. I think it was like a director that came out and said some stupid stuff, but there's
secondhand accusations of all of a sudden now he's been an abuser and like all this stuff. It's like
it comes with the property. So every time one thing's happened, it's gonna be a bunch of other ants that's gonna pop up to try to get their little piece into. So all that stuff there holds no weight. So that hasn't even been acknowledged at this point. So we, like I said, we just waiting on this main trial. Like I said, my man is pretty headstrong right now. He's, like I said, he walking in there with Megan Good, so he good. You know what I'm saying? I think Megan Good is super holy right now, so I don't think she'll be messing around with her abuser. Not to say whatever, people,
we don't know.
We don't know, but still though, it's just seeming like he's pretty damn innocent to me.
Yeah, it's looking like a case of white woman with a black man, and she's accusing him of this. She didn't even accuse him of this, apparently, according to the lawyer, his lawyer, of course. So of course his lawyer gonna say this, but they have audio and they have the visual video of these things happen. So it's not like she's just saying it and there's no like proof behind it. And it's just looking like the officer came in and just basically got to like, well, he abused you and arrested him. Like,
I would like to see that type of shit come out. So, but like I said, I don't know if it's gonna go that far. But if that shit is out there, like they say it is, this is a pretty open and shut case as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Like let's get this man back out. Yeah. So
for sure, he's leaving no stone unturned, as they say.
So you guys make sure you stay tuned so you can stay updated, because I guess from this point on we will be covering it. This is why we're even starting the pod, so we can talk about things like this.
Yes, sir. All right. But get to the next topic.
Move to the next topic, which is pretty it's pretty damn sad and unfortunate. Yeah. But when you get a certain amount of money, you start doing crazy things, and this brings us to the OceanGate submarine tragedy that just happened few days ago with the billionaire and his friends going down to look at the Titanic, and it imploded within the hour.
It's crazy, bro. Yeah, this is another big news topic for this week. Well, actually, Jonathan Majors being kind of innocent, or not really proven innocent, was not really even as big as when he actually got accused. Let's put that out there. But this topic has been running the internet, regular media.
Yeah, this is literally everywhere, to the point where people are making memes about it. We got memes about this thing exploding to these people expense. So it's crazy.
Most regular people just making fun of it.
Yeah,
it's not funny because people lost their lives, but I think the scenario and the situation is funny.
Or it's easy to make fun of because
to me it's funny.
Yeah, you have a uncertified submarine that's controlled by a video game controller, an off-brand one that you can pretty much get off of Amazon.
Right.
And it's just insane. You know what I'm saying? And it's people that aren't fully experienced that's running the situation.
Right.
I saw Rick Ross himself, say, why wasn't this submarine tethered to anything, which they do have this mechanism, but it also costs a decent amount of money to have that rig to support a submarine or a mini sub. But at that point, I don't think that would have mattered either, because I think that would have been pulling up nothing, because like I said, it wasn't a certified piece of equipment going down there in the first place. So which why it imploding within the hour as soon as it got to those depths.
Mind you, they've already done it with the OceanGate. They've already done a Titanic viewing last year. So, and they've done multiple voyages, I guess you would call it, down to Titanic. So this is just a very unfortunate event. But also, like my man said, it was very uncertified equipment. It was like no seats, and they was basically sitting Indian style in a submarine.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even want to call it a submarine. It's
submersible.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe there was an interview out with James Cameron, who we all know made a movie about the Titanic, has over 33 dives viewing the Titanic, and he has a bunch of money, but he does it the commercial way, I would say. Like, the actual legit submarine. And from his understanding, this was never going to work in the first place because of, the maintenance required and the certification required. They weren't going that route as far as safety. It wasn't like a routine type of check when you have like these actual commercial submarines. It's like a certain requirement over a certain amount of time where these things have to be constantly checked and made sure that it can make these dives, basically. Right. So the fact that this wasn't even a big issue with this guy that's running the OceanGate is just really, really unfortunate.
What it sounds like to me is, all right, so they have a bunch of people who's done it before, who created submarines, that's pretty much their job, is to make subs safe. And this guy didn't use any of them. He just got a bunch of nerds, and they made a bunch of calculations, and they was like, this should work, and it didn't.
Well, not experienced to the point where you want them to be. Like me personally, I will want OG when it comes to stuff like this, and me dealing with this, and not saying that I would ever do it, because I wouldn't. The water's terrifying. I can swim pretty goddamn good. But going that deep underwater and
the water is freezing. It's in the North Atlantic Ocean.
I'm on the camp of not even knowing exactly what's down there. So I don't want my trip to be the trip where we run into the Kraken or Leviathan. I don't want to see I don't want to see anything that my eyes and my little heart aren't ready for, because I will have a heart attack if I see something that huge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm done. I'm cardiac arrest right there,
dude.
I think this is another example of the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Like, these people had the knowledge to get the job done, but they didn't know all the things that they can experience while down there, and it ended up being fatal for these families. and this 19-year-old kid apparently that was also down there with his father.
Yeah, and rumor has it that he didn't want to go and make this trip. So that's even more sad in itself. Like, this is so unfortunate. Like I said, being in a submarine when it implodes, hopefully I'm almost 100% sure they didn't feel anything, but the aftermath has to be very messy. And I've heard analogies from holding an egg in your hand and just instantly squeezing it. That's exactly what happened. So, and you showed me a video of a crab that pretty much imploded over pressure, and that was just
pressure
horrifying.
Or
so
something like the differential pressure,
and just descending at those levels, and I'm pretty sure maybe for a split minor second they heard some creaks or maybe a little bit of a crunch, and at that moment everybody must have made eye contact and it was just over. Like, that is so terrifying, bro.
I'm almost positive they could get some type of video footage of this. They're not going to release it.
I think they showed the footage of the debris.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know if they're gonna have any footage of it immediately doing it, because everything on that thing is destroyed.
Right.
Like, nothing survived
and,
that.
And we was, like he said, we was listening to the James Cameron interview, and he was saying that in most dives, the last thing that you are worried about is the hull actually imploding. Like, he said something about entanglement is one of the things you have to worry about. Maybe like he said, it's supposed to be tethered, and like cord getting entangled with something. But he's like the hull's integrity, I think he said.
Yeah. You shouldn't be worried about the actual rig. You know what I'm saying?
So apparently this was an extreme mess up.
Yeah, and I believe they had some type of past run-ins or relationship with the OceanGate guy, and it was James Cameron and another submarine guy, and they both were like not feeling his design or whatever, and like it wasn't safe. But prayers go out to the family, man. Like I said, that is a very tragic thing, and I know they were being led on for a while as far as, it's still possible that they can be alive because there's so many hours left of oxygen. But as you know, within that hour, and as soon as they lost contact, was pretty much when that thing pretty much imploded. So it's very tragic, man.
Yeah, because they said that once the rescue team went down there, they went to the first site of lost contact, and that's where the submersible was. It was like it hadn't even moved from when they lost contact. So pretty much it got down there they was only down there for an hour. I think it was supposed to be like a 3-hour trip, something like that. They went down there for an hour and it immediately imploded.
Man, to be sitting down with no chairs inside, I'll pull a picture up of what it looks like inside, but it's just looks really uncomfortable. And I feel like we had this conversation, like being able to look at actual footage from a screen at your own house will be you'll probably be able to see more of the wreckage of the Titanic than being inside that small
submersible.
And looking at a smaller screen and a circular window, if they even have that on there. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
To me,
that was pointless.
It was just a way to stunt. Like, if you going to a party next week, you know how rich people do. We was in the Alps last week, or we went to the pyramids in Egypt last week. It was just another thing that they could stunt that other rich people hadn't done yet. You know, it's a constant pissing contest with certain people. It's definitely sad that they lost their lives, but at the end of the day, it could have been avoided. It's just like the people going into space for like commercial flights into space. It's like for what?
Man,
for what?
It's like you said, it's a pissing contest amongst the rich, and I think they get so much money at a certain point. There's certain things that don't fulfill them that it will fulfill a normal person. Like going to Disneyland is just not enough anymore. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Regular
being
people,
on a boat above the water just isn't enough.
Yeah, regular unrich people don't have that, like, because we going through stuff every day. We have real pressures about bills, and we got to worry about our kids and our families. These rich people, they don't have that stuff to worry about, so they have to make this artificial pressure. This artificial, like, I don't even know what you call it.
Adrenaline, like,
Yeah, like
just,
an artificial adrenaline, to where they go down into or they jump out of an airplane, or like they learn how to be a pilot or something, and it's all based off money and not really having the knowledge of how to do these things. Because there are people in the Navy who do these things. They get paid to do these things, but this also a necessity. This wasn't a necessity. They just were stunting.
Like I said, you gotta, like you said, they got enough money to make things happen, and some things you probably shouldn't just make happen because you can. Like, you shouldn't just do it because you can. Like, certifications and safety is real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because you have a certain amount of money doesn't make it okay. You know what I'm saying? You have to go along the rules and regulations of these things so you can be safe at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just throw away your life and your money all at once. So
that's another thing. If you're gonna spend that much money, you might as well spend it all and make sure that it's absolutely safe, the safest thing. Like,
don't cheap out.
Don't cheap out. Even though it was $250,000, whatever it was.
A seat,
Like, do not, like, make sure that this dude has all the safety regulations down. Like, he's not using the PlayStation controller or whatever it was. Not even PlayStation. Yeah, it was
an off-brand controller. Like, the guy's sell pitch had to be astronomical. Like, no way.
He had to be spitting Mr. Krabs out here, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much our 2 cents on this catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the last time, condolences to the family. No disrespect, but it's just crazy what people are capable of and what they're willing to do just for the thrill. You know what I'm saying? So, you guys, hey, man, keep your head up. That's all I can say with that. But hey, man, this is the Real Squad Pod, man, and I want you guys to stay tuned because we'll be dropping more podcasts pretty soon when some crazy news comes out. I think we have another pod out where we'll be dropping pretty soon, talking about some of this alien stuff that's going around. So, appreciate you guys, sticking around, keeping it real with the Real Squad. Appreciate y'all. You don't want to hold you too much longer. You gotta go ahead and get out of here. Any last words for these people? Welcome to the Real Squad Pod. Hey, it's a thing now. Shirts coming soon, man. Animations coming soon. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you do that YouTube thing. Hit that like, that sub, and that
notification bell.
Yeah, man, and stay tuned. And it's always gonna be real, and we're always gonna keep it real with the Real Squad. We are out.
Peace.